For decades, Richard Gere was the face of Hollywood romance. The charming outsider. The man who made vulnerability look effortless. Audiences saw confidence, beauty, and success. But behind the image, Richard Gere lived a far quieter, more complicated life. Now, at 75, the real story of Richard Gere isn't about fame or fortune. It's about loss, disillusionment, and choosing peace when the world stops watching. And it's far more heartbreaking than most people realize. The illusion of the leading man. In the late 1970s and 80s, Richard Gere became something Hollywood desperately wanted, a romantic symbol with depth. Films like American Gigolo, An Officer and a Gentleman, and later Pretty Woman turned him into a global icon. But Gere never felt comfortable wearing that label. He once admitted that the more famous he became, the more disconnected he felt from himself. Hollywood wanted a fantasy. Richard Gere wanted meaning. That quiet conflict would shape the rest of his life. The cost of refusing the game. Unlike many stars of his era, Gere refused to play Hollywood politics. He spoke openly about human rights, Tibet, spirituality, political injustice. That honesty came at a cost. By the 1990s, Gere noticed something unsettling. Roles slowed down, invitations faded, and studios stopped calling. He wasn't officially blacklisted, but the message was clear. Hollywood tolerates rebellion only when it's profitable. Gere chose principle over comfort, and paid for it with isolation. Love that never lasted. Richard Gere's personal life was marked by intense relationships, and equally intense endings. His marriage to supermodel Cindy Crawford ended quietly, with both later admitting they were simply in different places in life. Later relationships followed the same pattern. Despite his fame, Gere often spoke about loneliness, the kind that fame can't touch. He once said that connection matters more than success, yet it remained the one thing he struggled to hold onto. The quiet pain of aging out. By the time Gere reached his 60s, Hollywood had moved on. Roles for aging men became fewer. Romantic leads disappeared. Visibility faded. But unlike others who chased relevance, Gere withdrew. Not in bitterness, but in resignation. He accepted what many stars can't. That the spotlight is temporary. Still, acceptance doesn't erase grief. There's a silent heartbreak in realizing the world no longer needs what once defined you. The loss that changed everything. One of the deepest wounds came not from Hollywood, but from family. Richard Gere was deeply devoted to his father, Homer Gere. As his father aged and declined, Gere stepped away from work to care for him. When his father passed away in 2023, it marked a turning point. Gere later described that period as emotionally exhausting and grounding. It forced him to confront mortality, not as an idea, but as reality. Walking away from America. In a move that stunned fans, Richard Gere quietly relocated to Spain, choosing a life far from Hollywood. No red carpets. No constant interviews. No image maintenance. Just privacy. At 75, Gere admitted that he no longer felt connected to the American entertainment system. He didn't leave in anger. He left in peace. The loneliness of spiritual clarity. Richard Gere has practiced Buddhism for decades. But spirituality doesn't erase pain, it simply teaches you how to sit with it. He has spoken openly about impermanence. Fame fades. Love changes. Life moves on without asking permission. There is tragedy in that awareness. Not dramatic tragedy, but the quiet kind that settles in when applause ends. What makes his story heartbreaking? Richard Gere didn't lose everything. He lost illusions. He lost the idea that success brings fulfillment. He lost the belief that fame protects you. He lost the world that once defined him. And perhaps most painfully, he accepted it without bitterness. That kind of acceptance is rare. And heavy. At 75, Richard Gere isn't broken. He's finished chasing. Finished performing happiness. Finished pretending fame mattered more than peace. The tragedy isn't that he faded from Hollywood. The tragedy is that Hollywood never understood him in the first place. Do you think Richard Gere made the right choice by stepping away from fame? Or do you believe Hollywood failed him? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you appreciate thoughtful stories about icons beyond the spotlight, subscribe for more untold truths.